Okay, hello everybody. My name is Jameson Chase Young and this is Coins in History. I'm standing here with my Barber 1915 San Francisco Mint half dollar, and I'm standing here at the old plank road that runs through the Imperial Sand Dunes outside of Yuma, Arizona. We're going to eventually talk about the 1915 Barber half dollar, but first I want to tell you about the old plank road because it's a very interesting thing. It's kind of cool. If you're ever driving outside of Yuma, Arizona, in between San Diego and Yuma, the desert, the regular desert, turns into like the Sahara desert. Like, you know, you got like weeds and patches of weeds and here and there and there and here, and then all of a sudden you, for some reason, you run into these huge sand dunes with not one weed or nothing. It just looks like the Sahara Desert. Actually, it's where they filmed a lot of different movies, including the Matthew McConaughey, Penelope Cruz movie, Sahara. They filmed that famous Casablanca here. They filmed one of those 1970s, 1980s Star Wars is here. They filmed that here. They film almost every movie that looks like it's in the Sahara Desert is actually filmed outside of Yuma, Arizona. And the problem with this was that like those kind of sand dunes that have no vegetation, no weeds to hold the sand together, it, you know, a big sand mountain can shift, you know, with the wind from one area to the other. Huge sand dunes can be like blown from one area to another. So in the early years of like building roads, it was impossible to build like a road through here. And in the early years of cars, it was impossible to take cars through here. Up until 1915, the best route to come through this area was either to drive hours and hours around, or you could take horses. Still in like 1915, that was still the best option, until it started with Los Angeles won the rights for the railroad, and that kind of scared San Diego. They wanted to make sure that they weren't left behind. So businessmen in San Diego wanted to make sure that their roads, like they won the road race, so to speak. And this guy named Ed Fletcher, he was like the main guy who helped raise the money. He got together 13,000 different planks. Now, originally, I'll show you this little section over here. Originally, the plank road, which like most of it is an 8 feet wide thing. The original plank road was two 2-foot things. So you just had to drive down it and hopefully your tires wouldn't fall off. Which leads me to another thing. There's actually a bunch of Native American Indians around here who had like a good, from 1915 in the 19-teens, they had like a good little tow truck business / horse truck business. Because yeah, the cars would constantly go off into the sand with the little 2 planks, and the Native American Indians, the local ones here, would have to constantly pull the cars back onto the planks with their horses. And that you might be thinking, well, when they actually built this 8-foot wide plank road, how did 2 passing cars? Well, every 1,000 feet they had to put like little turnoffs. That way, you know, when you're driving, here comes a car, turn off, you like turn off and just park. And then the car goes by and then you keep going. And it was really bumpy because, you know, those planks eventually kind of got loose and started, you know, sticking up in ways. So it was bumpy, but apparently it was kind of like a cultural thing around here in Yuma. Like, I guess like it became kind of fun. Like there was a couple spots people would like tailgate off to the side, to where even in 1926, when they built the highway, some people really wanted to keep this road open because like the tailgating parties, so to speak, were so fun. But it was just impossible because like that was the biggest thing. Like maintenance on this thing was like really hard. They constantly had to do horse-drawn scrapers to keep that sand off. They constantly had to like hammer it in place to keep the boards from popping up too much. Yeah, and eventually it just kind of sat for decades and decades. Like there's some 1940s, 1950s, 1930s pictures where you can see there used to be huge chunks of it left, just kind of rotting away out in the desert. Now there's only a couple little chunks of it left, but it's still, this is the authentic stuff left though, and it's still really cool to come check out. If you're driving in between Yuma or San Diego Yuma, I recommend you pull off the freeway and see it, because yeah, it's just sitting off to the side of the freeway. And it's this road or I should say it's this coin, my 1915 Barber San Francisco half dollar, was being printed the same time this road was being laid. These Barber half dollars are awesome. I often complain about Barber half dollars because it always seems like they're either really nice and like 2, 3, 4 times more expensive, or they're 2, 3, 4 times more worn down and you can hardly tell they're Barber half dollars. The Barber half dollars ran from 1892 to 1915. And the value was obviously half dollar. Their weight is 12.5 grams, diameter 30.6 millimeters, thickness 2.15 millimeters. Their edge is reeded. It's named after Charles Edward Barber from the Philadelphia Mint. Now the Barbers, they ran the Philadelphia Mint for a long time because it was two of them. It was a father-son. So the father ran it for years, if not decades. Then the son ran it for years, if not decades. The guy who took over for the son was George T. Morgan, the guy who carved the original Morgan silver dollar. Anyway, the Barber half dollars, the 1915s. The Philadelphia Mint made 138,000 of them. The Denver Mint made 1,170,400. And then this particular one, the San Francisco Barber half dollar, it made San Francisco made 1,604,000. Yeah, and these Barber half dollars, I've often complained about them because, you know, they're either really good and then really expensive, or they're really worn down, but they are really nice half dollars. And this 1915 half dollar, 1915 San Francisco, is what was being minted the same time this old plank road that runs through the Imperial Sand Dunes was being laid. So it's a very interesting little fast fact of history. And if you're ever, you know, driving through San Diego to Yuma or Yuma to San Diego, I suggest you pull off the side of the road and see it because it's on the side of the interstate. And if you enjoy these videos, please like them and please subscribe to the channel. My name's Jameson Chase Young and this is Coins in History. Thank you.